Okay, let's see if notifications work and if this live stream works. I see one person on here, so that's a start. But yeah, we are back for Sistas Wednesdays to talk about the show. And I do have some positive things about this episode, some not so positive things. But overall, I did enjoy it. This wasn't a terrible episode. I think it did a decent job getting the season off to a somewhat good start. Oh, we got 158 people. Hey, we're here. So welcome back. This is the first live stream I've done in quite a while. I think the last live stream I did was maybe Zatima season 2, the finale. But yeah, if I were to score this episode, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Personally, I do feel that score is a bit too high, but at the same time, let me tell you why this episode worked in some places. I love the fact that the show was gone for a couple of months. It allowed the show to be missed by fans. This episode did drag in some places. The Zach and Fatima scene, when the girls were at the bar pretty much opening up to Danny, those scenes kind of dragged on, but they were good because they worked. Those scenes at the top of season 6 did a good job recapping the events of season 5. So given that the show was gone for a couple of months, it allowed fans to have that refresher. Now, if the hiatus was only like 2 weeks, I would not have liked this episode. Because it's like, okay, here we go again with the same crap. Not everybody is like me in terms of dissecting everything. But this was a great episode for the average fan. Someone who just watches the show to watch the show. They might talk about it with their friends here and there, but this was a good episode. Now, the faults of the episode. Number one, I despise the fact that Pam was the one that set the fire. Last season, Pam had left the curlers on. Remember? Then the next morning when she got into work, she saw that the curlers were still had that light on and she cut it off, freaking out about it. Karen came in right as she was holding the curlers and chewed her out in regards to you left those things on. So why all of a sudden was it written to have Pam not know the difference between the light meaning cooling off versus the light meaning being off? I did a video earlier today about how I think it should be Jennifer, like make it look like Pam was the one that started the fire with her negligence, but let it be Jennifer, the crazy chick that's going after Aaron. Let her be the one to actually set the fire. So you really messed up Pam's character there. Next point. I'm not faulting the episode because of this, but TJ, I agree. I was sitting here like, why in the world did she rush in there by herself? Now, don't get me wrong. We can talk about what you should and shouldn't do in situations like what Karen found herself in at the end of the episode. Imagine you come home from work and like, let's say your wife and kids are like, let's say you're a guy coming home and the house is on fire. You don't see your wife or kids anywhere. You're going to rush in. I mean, sure. The thing you need to do is call 911. But when you are in a situation like that and you're panicking, you're not always going to think about the smart thing. I want to show Karen some grace, but it is hard to, because It's not like she had family in the salon or anything. I mean, this was pretty dumb because of the fact that that's a salon full of chemicals. So you go in there, you're automatically going to inhale those fumes and the smoke and whatnot. So there's no telling that if the fire would have like reached the wrong bottle of chemicals, there could be a possible like explosion. And then she runs in there with that little fire. Somebody said it, that little fire extinguisher. I was just looking like, those are big flames, and you got that little extinguisher. Like, what exactly are you trying to accomplish here? And then she couldn't even get it to work, and then she fainted. Don't worry, I'm getting to the Maurice stuff. I'm kind of working backwards because I want to point out the stuff I really didn't like. For one, we finally got a Zach and Fatima love scene. So these two have finally done it in Sistas for the first time in a while. While I did like the Zach and Fatima scene, it did feel rehashed because I'm like, okay, Zach is asking the same question he's asked a bunch of times. How are you cool with all this? And then you have Fatima saying, I'm going to stick with you through it in this, that, and the third, in regards to his son and whatnot. While this was a great scene in isolation, how long before Fatima is yet again going to threaten to pack her stuff up and leave? Also, I call bull crap on Fatima only having 7 partners. I don't buy that. 3 of them being randos. No, I don't believe that. I don't. I did not care for the bar stuff. I mean, it was fun at first, but I think there's a lot wrong with the they called it what, Billy John. It looked exactly like the set from the Steam plant. I'm pretty sure that's the same set from the Steam Plant restaurant, because when Danny went over to Preston and Mindy, I'm like, this is exactly where Zach popped up and fought with Aaron. So, I mean, Danny's funny in small doses, but just like Maurice, there's just way too much going on. Okay, her walking over to Preston was funny. Maybe he heard you about bringing back her reassuring side. I ain't gonna lie. I just sat there during the whole scene and I'm like, this one Zatima scene had me liking Fatima way more than in season 5. Crystal did like my tweet when I posted about that. Now, here's my thing with that. With Preston, number one, Preston had no business going up to Danny at the bar. That's the first thing. Number 2, drunk Danny going over there and starting crap is ridiculous. How many times has she's basically intruded on every one of Preston's dates? Didn't he have the 2 black women in season 4 or 5 and she interrupted? It makes no sense. And I hate how Preston was written in regards to like proposing to Danny and then using that same ring for me. And I'm wondering about Mindy too. I'm like, wait, you're okay with all this stuff? Yeah, I agree. Preston played himself by going up to her. But to be fair, bet money, even if Preston did not go to the bar, as the women were leaving and they noticed Preston over there with Mindy, Danny would have went over there anyway. Yeah, I think she was going to do that regardless. But I don't see why Preston wants to be with her. And I'm talking about Danny. And then Danny has the audacity to call him out, despite the fact that, I mean, I think it's ridiculous, the fact that Preston's like, I'll drop her off at the hotel, then I'll come talk to you. What? And then Danny's going to call him out for that. But at the same time, Danny, how many times did Preston catch you with another man leaving your apartment after a night together? So she has no grounds to try to judge him, despite the fact Preston and Mindy are just, I mean, when Preston was like drinking, everything he could, I'm just sitting there like, Preston, why are you acting nervous? You're the one that asked Danny to come up. I don't know. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Danny was doing too much. It was funny at first, but then it just got to too much. Then let's talk about when the sisters came to the bar to talk with Danny, basically apologizing, even though, in my opinion, they did nothing wrong. They all have done foul. Their love lives are all ridiculous. But none of them almost killed a guy the way Danny did. So now we got to sit through Andy being vulnerable by spewing nonsense. When this woman said, "Oh, because he makes me happy," I'm thinking, what does Gary do to make you happy outside of buying you stuff, despite the fact you always say, "I'm not a prize to be won. My love can't be bought." And it's funny because when Andy was talking about Gary, Karen had a lot to say, but when Danny pointed over at her, like, okay, well, Sabrina said, well, Andy spoke her piece. Sabrina, I don't want to hear about her and Calvin. So Karen, what do you got to say? She's quiet then. But she did say the next day she's going for that, early detection thing about the baby, which is something we all brought up way back when. But given the whole fire situation, that baby thing is not going to happen for a while. Also, I don't care if Karen goes for a test if Zach and or Aaron are not present either. I don't care. Dang, I'm going through this stuff. And then Gary's going to call Covered in Flowers. I have nothing to say about that. I think the last thing to talk about is the Q, Maurice, and Calvin stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's about it. This episode was just that, a recap. Guys, this show, season 6, picked up where season 5 left off. Karen isn't showing. I'm going to leave it at that out. And I'm not trying to be mean. I just don't care. She's only a month or so pregnant. She's not going to have a baby bump yet. But yeah, guys, I'm looking at my notes. I think I talked about everything. Yeah. Well, yeah, the Q stuff. First of all, I'm glad he got shot. I mean, call me foul, but to be completely honest, if Maurice, Calvin, and Q all got shot and killed, I would have been cheering so hard because I don't like any of those characters. I don't. To be completely honest, out of those 3 characters, Maurice was the one who annoyed me the most. And this is probably going to be something I get flack for, but if I had to choose between Maurice, Q, and Calvin as to which one should have gotten shot and died, I probably would have picked Maurice. Yeah, Pam was going through it on the phone. I think somebody mentioned this before, but yeah, doesn't the salon have sprinklers? Okay, but here's my thing. I think what really pissed me off about Maurice is the fact that he wasn't taking any of this seriously at all. That sarcastic mouth, that so-called wit, that's what got you arrested in the first place. Yet when the cop shows up after you shot Q, you're still going to have an attitude and a smart mouth. Nah. He played too much and all. He's just stupid. He's just stupid. It may not, because water mixing with the chemicals may make it worse. That I'm not an expert in that, but that kind of makes sense. I am not trying to connect the continuity between Zatima and Sisters. I'm just happy we got one scene where Zach and Fatima are happy. But I will say this: remember at the beginning of season 5, the first episode, Zach showed up at the law firm to pick up Fatima for a date. Then they went to that parking lot where they first met. Remember that? It was a good episode, a great Zatima moment. Then what, an episode or two later, they're back at the house having a good night together. Then that's when Karen called and cussed her out. And then that at that point, that's when Fatima, I did not like her. Like, we got a good episode at the beginning of the season, but then her character just decreased as the season went on. I'm afraid of the same thing happening this season. We had a great Zach and Fatima scene in episode 1, but I think because Zach is going to get a phone call about Karen, because this, I think TV line or synopsis said something about Fatima being mad at Zach's reaction to Karen being in the hospital, and then Zach needs to prove that Fatima's the only one for him. So this Zach and Fatima piece might not last much longer. Did you announce the winners? I can do that now. Truth be told, I picked the winners right before the episode aired, because these bags behind me, that's eBay stuff I had to pack up, and I'm mailing it off tomorrow. I did all that in one day. Then I had over 120 comments. How come for the past few days I only had like 20 to 30 comments, but then the night before the deadline, that's when I got over 100. So I did pick 10 winners. 5 or 6 of them already contacted me. Basically, I went through all the comments. I picked 10. I replied to them with my contact, like, hey, email me or DM me, and a bunch of people have responded. So if you can give me a moment, I can actually go ahead and type the winners so you can see it, and I'll pin it. But feel free to keep on chatting. I'm going to go ahead and type it in. I'm almost done. Okay. Aaron Truth, Mark Sterling, Laron Allen, Nifty, Miel, that girl in red, Dawn Walton, Danielle Hankins, Geneva Whiteman, Tamar Coulter, Normani, Generation 7 on. Those are the winners. Yeah, and so far, 6 of them have contacted me. So there we go. And as always, I'll give them like 24, 48 hours. If I don't hear from the winners by Friday, I'll pick backups. But 6 out of 10 have hit me up already. But as for the episode itself, I think it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Like I said, it did a great job of recapping things before. But the thing was that like 90-second recap of season 5, that was just more proof of, even if you didn't watch season 5, you got everything you needed to know from that one recap. That's the show in a nutshell. And I mean, tonight, what did we learn? Not much. The only thing was the ending scene With the fire, we met Mindy. Q got shot. I was cheering. Yeah, that's about it. Oh man. I'm actually shocked we began the season with fire. Yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised this wasn't a season finale. I mean, it started off with somebody getting shot. It ended with somebody's fate being up in the air. This would have made for a good season finale. I wish Maurice stopped being an airhead. He has no respect for Sabrina. That's what I'm saying. These two were begging and pleading with people. Didn't Calvin's father say he would put his house up to get Maurice out of jail? Like, imagine if Calvin's father did that and he did all this crap to possibly get arrested again. Danny massacred feelings with alcohol, good and bad. I did not enter because I've been studying for exams. Oh, well, congratulations. Hope you do well. It's just one of those things where, yeah, that was pretty funny. He went over and sucked his stuff. But in Zatima, season one, Fatima was going in on Zach for his body count, but then when Zach flipped the question around, she just went to sleep. So maybe in Sistas continuity it's 7, but in Zatima it's 700. I don't know. Hello, thank you for watching for the first time, and I will be doing these each week after Sistas. Is the salon a green screen? I got to double check on that. Probably is. No, we're not. This is season 6. I know somebody's like, we're still in season 5. No, we're not. They're currently filming season 7 right now. That's 700. I mean, you never know. Oh, yeah. Calvin in the black leather jacket. That's probably his best outfit in the entire show. No joke. Thanks for the recap. See you next week. That 1.5 million. Oh, yeah. I did a video where I did some research about, different states and their, bail policy. If you're out on bail and you get arrested, that bail money's gone. Today's episode looks like it's from season 5 before they took a break to start taping season 6. I mean, that is possible, but I don't know. I like hearing Zach say he doesn't want his son to grow up the way he did. That's what I love to hear. That's what I like to hear. And I mean, we do know that he will be fighting for full custody. Her face did give it was double digit. I feel like Fatima was saying what she wanted Zach to hear. I don't want to take away from this great scene these two had, but at the same time, I don't think it was 7. Now, remember when she first met the sisters, she said she wasn't looking for anything long term. It's like men get to date, sleep around. Why can't I? I'm guessing those 3 random men were after Ian because remember, she got her heart broken by Ian and she didn't love again until Zach. So that's what I think. It was 3 long-term relationships. Then it was Ian. Then it was 3 random guys. Then Zach. That's what I think. Unless she's lying. Also, did you see Crystal's Keep It Positive Sweetie, her podcast on her YouTube channel? I posted about it, a review. I shared a link on my social media. It's really good. Yeah, she says she sleeps around. She be with multiple men. Not to mention her claim of always saying, "You don't think I can't find be in another man's bed tonight or something?" And I'm like, is that something to be proud of? One of the random guys was Hayden. Oh, good. Sorry, knocked over something. Thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah, Hayden. He was one of those guys. It is really good. Episode was saying I could tell it's more the same old, same old. Yeah, yeah. I could see some people being like, I'm just going to sit back a couple weeks and then watch. But I think everybody should at least watch next week in regards to the fire, even though we know Karen's going to make it out alive and the baby's going to make it out too. And dude that took her out after the supermarket running. Yeah. Okay, well, I don't want to end the live stream, but I honestly don't have much to say. I think that this episode was pretty much a decent start to the season. Congrats to all the winners of the contest. I'm probably going to take a break from monetary giveaways because this is $1,000. I did get some DVDs over the weekend. It's two of the Medea box sets. It's like every single Medea movie. I'll do those. I'll give those away at a later time. I'll just keep those for now. But no, I don't watch Power. We are not finding no. We are not finding out who that baby daddy is anytime soon. Power makes Sisters look like a Tubi film. Oh yeah, that's right. Because Danny and Fatima hooked up with the same dude that like robbed him or something. Yeah, that's true. I didn't want to criticize it that much, but I will. It's in my notes to talk about in my review. It's like Fatima wants Zach to confess to everything and holds him accountable for a lot. Not to mention the fact that he has a huge body count. And look, I'm not saying she needs to stay through everything, but what makes Fatima look bad is when she's like, "Hey, I'm here with you no matter what." But then as soon as one thing happens, that's it, Zach, I'm leaving. Or she hears something as opposed to getting proof of something, she automatically wants to leave. So this scene tonight, yet again, Zach, I want to be with you through thick and thin. I want to be with you through this, that, and the third. But then she'll be like, you know what? I'm going back to my apartment. I want to pack up my stuff. I can't handle this. I'm done. How many times are we going to hear it this season? I don't want to hear it. I want to believe she's going to stay, but we've heard this thing before. Like I said, this entire episode, for the most part, was like a recap. And we do know that in the future, Andy will leave Gary, but for now, it is annoying for her to keep saying, each day I keep getting stronger, but I don't want to let him go. And it's like that. You said this in it's like season 2. We're in season 6 now. I mean, I think Ian is just gone, which is stupid. I mean, what about the invite that his mom, invited Fatima to go see, have dinner with him? Not to mention Ian being like, when I'm gone, look after my mom. Like, that's some big stuff you don't keep from your fiance. So I don't know. But like I said, this is the stuff Fatima fans got on me on for calling out the truth. It's the fact that Zach needs to leave nothing hidden from Fatima, but Fatima's allowed to have as many secrets as Russia. Andy and Gary are definitely annoying, beyond annoying. But like I said before, I just don't like the fact that the sisters were apologizing to Danny, in my opinion, even though Danny, see, I said this last season in the finale, I'm like, yeah, Danny was calling them out, but at the same time, they have the right to be concerned because if you had killed Jonah, you would be gone down the river. You're the one who had the hot girl summer, picked this dude, brought him to your place, leading to the events that, led to the crash, and you could have killed him. Yeah, they have the right to, and I'm not even saying calling you out. They came to you in love because one of their friends was, caught in a very bad cycle. Not to mention the whole Q thing. So now they have to apologize to you. You were right, Danny. You were right. When in reality, there was never a moment of reflection for Danny. And what did she do? She made an ass out of herself when she went over to Preston and Mindy. So I don't know. We found that out when the doctor said she conceived, and Karen knew that then. Yeah, I know, right? So I wonder what this whole thing is about now. I still think she's lying about the baby being Zach's. Yeah, Zach has to say everything, but Fatima don't say nothing. Yep. And also, for what it's worth, I don't think Karen has any right to be mad at Aaron if he was seeing somebody on the side. But to be fair, Aaron does look bad. All those times he kept saying, "I love you, Karen. I'm going to stay here, and until you learn to love again and crap." But you're looking at another, but you're with another woman on the side. It's bad. Also, notice how Aaron is Zach now. Remember, like in season one, when Karen wouldn't let him in the apartment and they talked outside? The only difference is Aaron isn't on a bicycle. Yeah, Aaron even asked to marry her. I think that was stupid, though. That was only because he didn't want to have sinful sex. Why give that girl a fake name then? Why was that not brought up? I was thinking that too. It's like John. Well, oh, wait a minute. I don't think Karen was outside when she said John. I didn't get to see it because BET Plus doesn't have the new season yet. Well, no, I mean this was the premiere of season 6. It's not coming to BET Plus for a while. Also, the Oval might not come back until October because it might just do like last year, take a huge break and then come back after Sisters is done. Yeah. One thing I know, I'm going to sleep good tonight because I worked all day. I was making phone calls, getting stuff done. Um, the eBay stuff. I had videos I rushed out, but I have not seen. Did they show a preview for next week? I didn't see it. Oh yeah, I got YouTube TV during the hiatus, which is a lot better than the Dish Network app I was using. So YouTube TV way better. No malfunctions at all. Crystal said Zatima coming back in the fall. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And I'm okay with that. I'm glad that we're spreading things out. Aaron told Karen he won't go nowhere. One, did Aaron cheat? I don't think it was a while back. I mean, think about all the times he's not there with her. Yeah, I was saying the same thing. He can have who knows how many baby mamas because he doesn't, usually wrap it up. Sorry, I'm responding to messages real quick. Oh yeah, I posted a lot of videos lately. If you haven't seen them, like all those have and have not videos I did, like the top 5, top 10 list, even a Little Mermaid review. Did anybody go see the movie, the Little Mermaid live action? Yeah, that's a good observation. Aaron always goes after the confrontational women. Remember, Miss Lisa, I do applaud Karen. She had Miss Lisa tendencies like calling out Aaron. It's like, oh, did you drive this woman crazy? Is she like your wife? Those were some great observations because he's crazy himself. Yeah, well, if you didn't see the movie, I got my review up. So Okay. I'm waiting for it to come on Disney, so I don't think there's much to say for the episode. Yeah, there's not really much to say. I gave the episode a 7 out of 10. Random guy Karen used Rico. No, they always have protected sex. Yeah, I gave the movie a 4 out of 10. And look, if you want my full thoughts, go watch the video. But I'm not a fan of the live action remakes. I prefer the animated. I was never a big fan of the animated Little Mermaid because, well, I'm a guy. I'm gravitating more. I'm not saying men can't like the movie, but it was never Sleeping Beauty, Alice in the Wonderland, The Little Mermaid, um, Robin Hood. Those movies, they were never my favorite. VHSs back in the day. I was more Lion King, Aladdin, Pocahontas, Beauty and the Beast. I'll watch those all day, every day. But those other movies, man. But Hallie's Part of Your World is far in a way the superior version of that song. It's like listening to the original versus Hallie's is like listening to Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You versus Whitney Houston. It's no contest. I still feel like Karen not actually going to have the baby, something going to happen, no doubt. Salon caught fire or predicted that. Yeah, we all did. Before Maurice said he's going to Florida, I said, but he's got no bed. I did laugh. Danny and Maurice had moments that made me laugh tonight, but for the most part, I'm like, okay, y'all are doing too much. But it is what it is. But yeah, Calvin was absolutely right with how he was handling the situation. It wasn't that he was concerned about Q, it's just that he knows that if Q dies, it's going to be farewell for Maurice. And even worse, I mean, Maurice isn't a damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, because if Q pulls through, he's just going to lie about it. I mean, think of it this way. From the surveillance perspective, Q was leaving his job. Maurice was the one that confronted him at night in a parking. Wait, was it a parking lot or the landing zone or whatever? Maurice was the aggressor, but of course, Q pulling out the gun was self-defense. Then the fight happened, and then he got shot. But again, I'm speaking from the surveillance perspective, which is kind of weird because, like Maurice, I was saying the same thing. I mean, that cop is asking all of those questions, but it's like you seem like you've already looked at surveillance. So what the hell's going on? He's on house arrest. He shouldn't have a gun. While you are absolutely correct, remember this is a Tyler Perry show. I thought Q was going to have more scenes in season 6. I mean, he might. We don't know yet. Calvin told me. Yeah, I said this before. I'm like, what is Maurice hoping to accomplish by going down there? It's not like Q's just going to give him his keys and all. Why not call the police? I don't know why they've never done that. I mean, the whole thing, hey, Calvin, your name isn't on the lease, so you can't get me kicked out. Yeah, but what about Calvin calling when you were doing drugs while you were on house arrest or while you had all those crackheads in the apartment and whatnot? There were so many times Calvin could have called the cops, but he did not do it. See, yeah, Q did have his car, but yet again, that is another reason why it's like, okay, Maurice, why don't you just call the police? Him going down there was stupid. Karen baby come out premature. He keeps saying, I'm not you, Calvin. So it's I'm not. I'm like, you can say what you want about Calvin, but at least he hasn't gone to jail. Maurice is acting like he isn't out on bail. Calvin tried to warn his behind in the finale. And now look. Yeah, you're right. She's always making an ass out of herself in front of other women that Preston's with, and it's stupid. I literally look at these scenes and I'm like, I don't know what he sees in her. Yeah, stuff logically don't be making sense. Not at all. Pam setting the salon on fire. Calvin lost that opportunity when Q was high in the house. Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, I hate to cut it, but I am sleepy. I've been working all day. Um, like I said, I've been on the go since 7:30. I rushed to get videos out. Nephew had an award ceremony. I didn't go to it. My sister did, but I was doing eBay stuff. Then I did take like a 45-minute nap. I did that. Then I woke up, did all the eBay stuff, had to pick all these winners, then watch the show. Now tomorrow, thankfully, all I need to do is record. I don't have the preview for next week yet, but this episode, I don't think I want to have like 20 videos. I'll do some decent ones. Any predictions for next week? Look, I will check out my episode trailer breakdown. That will be up later this week. If I get the trailer like tonight or tomorrow, I'll have it up tomorrow. But if it doesn't, Friday. All right, well, give this video a thumbs up. Please do. If you are a first timer, please share the channel around. You know, get other people to come. Hey, are you a fan of Tyler Perry? Come watch this dude's channel. So, yeah. Yeah, I did like the fact they all recognized their faults, but Danny didn't do anything but get drunk. So, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to sleep. I might try to respond to messages. Hey, if you are a winner of the contest and I don't get to your emails or chats tonight, please understand I'm exhausted. I will get your money tomorrow. All right. If I don't get it tonight, it's coming tomorrow. All right. It's coming tomorrow. Okay. So that's all I got. And I will catch you next week.